beautiful this place is, the spirituality, the peace, and yet you see the occupation, and you see the dhulm and the udwan, and you see how empty this is, then your heart, even as it's peaceful, it is also burning with so much going on. So what I want is to motivate each and every one of you that when you go back home, you become an ambassador for this land, which is our land. You become an ambassador for the importance of this land, for the barakah that Allah has given, al-ard al-muqaddas, التي باركنا فيها للعالمين. Allah says in the Quran, we bless the alameen, we bless the whole world in this land. This is the holy land for every single religion, and it is our land because we belong to the religion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I firmly believe that it is fard kifaya, I should say, on the Muslims of the West especially to come here, because Allah has allowed us the political freedoms to come. The Muslims of the East, they have political issues, they cannot come here. Okay, that's their responsibility and whatnot. Us, we are given the permission by our countries to come here. If we, the Muslims of America, of Canada, of England, of Australia, of South Africa, of the Muslim lands that are allowed to visit, if we do not come here, then who's going to come here? We just came, many of us, from Mecca and Medina. You saw how jam-packed Mecca and Medina was. You saw you have to pray in the outside. If the adhan is called, you cannot get inside the haram. Yet over here, it is empty. Absolutely empty. In peak season, it is empty. Doesn't it make your heart bleed that this holiest of holy sites is abandoned? Why is it abandoned? You know why it's abandoned. Because the people who are occupying it do not allow the locals to pray here, except if they meet a long list of conditions. They don't allow the people to come and pray. So what do you think is going to happen? So if we do not come and support Masjid al-Aqsa, if we do not come and support the Holy Land, then who is going to support it? And I want people to come and see it with their eyes, because to merely talk is one thing and to see is another. So my passionate plea to every one of you, and that's why I do this every year for the last 3 years. And initially, I'll be honest with you, for more than a decade I was hesitant to come, because I knew my heart would be burning, it would be crying, it would be painful. For more than a decade I said, I can't do it, I can't do it. Finally, prayed istikhara, and the first time I came, I said, inshallah, as long as I have life, as long as I'm able to, as long as I'm breathing and speaking and talking, I will tell the Muslims of the importance of coming, and if I can come at least once a year, I will come every year. That was my goal. Alhamdulillah, as of yet, I managed to do that, and I pray I continue to do this, inshallah ta'ala, as long as I'm able to. But the goal isn't just me. The goal is every one of you then becomes an advocate, then becomes an ambassador. You go back and you tell the Muslims of the West that, look, we understand it's emotional, it's occupation, we understand that your heart is going to bleed and whatnot, but in the end of the day, we also have an obligation. And that obligation is to support Masjid al-Aqsa. That obligation is to support our Palestinian brothers and sisters. And that is why we make it a point that we stay at Palestinian hotels. We hire out Palestinian tour guides, even if we have to sacrifice. You see the whole hotel we're staying in, it's not like the Mecca and Medina one for those who were there. We have to downgrade. That's okay. We're going to do that because that's one of the reasons we are here. Because we are here in order to help the Muslims whose businesses will not be helped if we do not come, whose economic infrastructure is not going to be supported if we from the West do not do that. And so, brothers and sisters, as we stand here looking at this beautiful structure behind us, and we see the importance, and we also see the situation it is in, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide me and you to become advocates, ambassadors, to become people who are going to help in whatever way possible. Perhaps we cannot change the whole world, but if we can bring 5, 10, 50 of our extended family and friends over the next few years, if we can help them, then inshallah we've done just a little bit. And guess what? That's the beauty of our religion. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah is not going to ask us for the impossible, but Allah will ask us for the possible. And what we can do, that's what we're going to do. So that is one of the main purposes of this trip for me. And I hope that inshallah ta'ala, each and every one of you, now as we come to the final day of our tour, that you go back with a new vision. And that vision is, you know what, maybe I can't change the world, but I can change my own family and friends, my own structure of influence, my own sphere of influence, and I will try my best to become a supporter of this cause, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed this land from almost the beginning of time, and it is the Ard al-Muqaddas, it is the Ard al-Mubarak, it is the Mahbat of the Anbiya. Most of the prophets were here. It is the land that Isa himself will return to. It is the land that so many blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been mentioned. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless each and every one of us to do whatever we can. May Allah accept our good deeds. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ta'ala cover up our sins and faults and give us barakah and each and every good. One final point, I cannot help but share it with you. SubhanAllah, today morning I was with some of our brothers, Haji Mustafa and others, and we met. In my life, I have seen hundreds and thousands of conversions and whatnot. Last night, for those who were there, and today morning, we met the most bizarre converts that I have ever met in my life. Today morning and last night, we met a small group of Israeli Jews who had found Islam on their own, because da'wah is really difficult here. And they were searching for the truth, and they came across Islam, and they then embraced Islam. And alhamdulillah, these people have now embraced Islam, but they are facing social persecution. Their families have cut them off. They have been kicked out of their houses. They have been threatened. And we met with them. They refused to take their pictures and to publicize their names because it is very sensitive, as you understand. And subhanAllah, I felt so sorry for them, because they're between two worlds. When they convert, their own families reject, and then many Palestinians are suspicious this is a spy or something like this, and so they're kind of stuck in between. And I just want to share with you one story that really, really touched me. One of the and she was very quiet. She was very, just not speaking much. When I heard her story, I understand why. She was the wife of a rabbi, and she has 3 children. And when she discovered Islam and converted, the children were taken away from her, and she has not seen her children for a few years. But she is firm in her iman, and she is now living in a refuge house. It's literally like Darul Arqam type, like secretly away she's living, and she's not, in the public eye and whatnot. And wallahi, I was so moved and touched, because we cannot give up our sins for the sake of Allah, but she gave up her children for the sake of Allah. We cannot give up our lifestyles for the sake of Allah, but she was willing to sacrifice something that I cannot even imagine doing. That she's not going to give up her Islam, no matter what. And they took her to court, and they stripped away her kids, because they said she's mental, she's this and that, and she does not have now access to her children. They said, inshallah, maybe once in a while she can visit, but she had to leave her children completely because she accepted Islam. And just to meet these people, I swear to you, I felt as if this was the flicker of the Sahaba. I said this to them, that you are people standing up against your whole communities. You are breaking from your whole tradition. I sense in that the iman of the Sahaba, the iman of the early Muhajirun, for them to have that much iman, that their whole societies are against them, and yet they know the truth, and they're being persecuted, maybe not like the Sahaba being tortured to death, but the emotional torture, the social torture. There's no other place in the world. So wallahi, their iman inspired me, and I hope inshallah all of us, we can inshallah ta'ala do whatever we can to help them out. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We're going to give a minute to Brother Ammar for a second. Killing me here, bro.
And then we'll have a group photo.